This tutorial will show you how to create a web-based dynamic geometry exploration that you can then get feedback from your students on. I'm going to be using the program Geogebra to create the exploration and the dynamic web page goes with it. I'm going to be using a Google Docs form to create a place where students can enter their feedback and then you can receive it in the spreadsheet. I'm going to be using the program Text Edit to modify the GeoGebra dynamic HTML code so we can put the two things together. I'm going to be using the website Dropbox.com to actually store the dynamic web page, and then I'm going to be using my Google Docs website as a place I can put the whole thing where kids can get to it. Now here's what this whole thing would look like. Here I have my dynamic exploration created into a website page, and this one is on median lines and triangles, and to make conjecture, so they've got this figure they can move around. Then once they make their conjecture, here attached to this is a form that they can fill in the spots with their conjecture and then submit it, and I can receive it on a spreadsheet. Alright, to start this process, here I'm in the program Geogebra, and this is a exploration that I've created with median lines and a triangle. So I can first create the dynamic web page by going File menu, Export Dynamic Worksheet. Give it a title up here, export it. I have a folder with all my GeoGebra stuff in it, so I'm going to save it in there so I know where it's at. And then it opens this in a web browser so I can see what it looks like. So now I need to go ahead and attach to that web page the form so I can have feedback. So here's the file, and then I'm going to go back to my Google Docs, and I've already created a form. There's the spreadsheet for it, and there's the form. So once you're at the form, you can pull down more actions and do embed. Now in here is the code you need to put in a web page to embed this form into a web page. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'll have it on my clipboard. So now I have to modify my HTML file. So I'm going to take my HTML file here that I just created and drag it over onto Text Edit. Open it up a little bit. Now you have to be careful here because HTML files have to be simple, plain text files. And so you have to make sure some settings are correct on your Text Edit. Otherwise it'll do as like a rich text format and it won't work. So I'm going to pull down the Text Edit menu, go to Preferences, and then under the New Document tab, I'm going to leave on Plain Text. And under the Open and Save tab, I'm going to do Ignore Rich Text Commands in HTML Files. I want that checked. And then down here for Plain Text File Encoding, I've got these both set to Unicode UTF number 8. Now, this is actually something you should do before you open your HTML up with the Text Edit. So make sure those settings are done, and then here's your HTML, which looks pretty scary, but it's real simple what we really have to do. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom, and the very last line is a bracket / HTML bracket. We're going to put the embedded code just above that line, so it's going to be the second thing from the bottom. So there I'm in that spot, and I've already got my code copied, so I'm just going to paste it in here, and there's my code. Paste it in that second to the last space. So I'm going to save this up, and then I can get out of this. So now my HTML page here has the code for the embedded form. So I can drag it over on my web browser. There's my form, or excuse me, there's my exploration, and down here is my form. It's all put together in one spot. Alright, now that we've got our web page done, we need someplace to store it. So I'm at the website Dropbox.com, where you can get a free account, hold up to 2 gigabytes of stuff in it, and you can have it web accessible. So I'm going to log in here, and there's a folder called public. I'm going to go into that, and I'm going to upload my file into this folder. So I'm going to click the upload button, choose files, go find the web page, which is in my Geogebra files folder. There's the web page that I just modified. Open, start upload, and there's my file uploaded. Now if you put your cursor on it and go over here to the far right, you can pull down this little triangle, and there'll be one thing you can pick called Copy Public Link. So click on that, and then I'm going to do Copy to Clipboard. So now I have that link stored. So I'm going to go back to my website now. This is my Google Docs website on the geometry page where I want to put the link to that exploration. So I've got the words typed in already, so highlight the words, click the link tab there, click on web address, paste in that web address that I just copied, click OK, and that's it. I can save this up. When I click on this link now, it takes me to my exploration with my feedback. And then once kids put in their feedback, you can go to the spreadsheet associated with this form and see all of their feedback.